So anyway, thanks for putting up with me. Let's talk about Live Attack. What was it like playing to nobody and recording it in this weird kind of thing we're in?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure was still there because we knew there would be a lot of people watching from their homes worldwide. But of course, the exchange of energy that you have at a live show is completely gone, and that's not not something that you would like to do every day on the concerts. It's been a very special occasion, to do this in the pandemic, and so it was easy to motivate yourself and be in full force on stage, But of course, you're missing the crowd because a thrash metal show is an exchange of energy between the audience and the band.
Well, I mean, was it hard to stay motivated? I know I saw an interview with, I saw a live stream with the guys from Catatonia back in the beginning, and they had said, "You still there?"
Yeah, I'm still there.
I'm sorry, I thought I lost you. Yeah, and they had said, Jonas had said, "Hey, this is really difficult. You end the song and you don't even know what to do because there's nobody applauding or yelling or anything." Is that difficult?
I mean, we grew up in a rehearsal room for many years when we were young kids, and we were just dreaming about concerts. And it was you always put the tension high in the room to stay motivated. So I think I had no problems really, but I heard this problem from other musicians too, that they kind of lost focus during the show. Some guys forget the song, some guys forget the lyrics, others don't know what to do. Yeah, it's it's not the usual thing that you can just put on the normal show. It was definitely different, but for me it was not a problem. I think it's the experience that helped me, of course, but of course it's nothing that you want to do again. Like not frequently, at least,
Yeah, not ever really, but yeah. Hey, how did you choose Club 27 there?
It's called Set 7. It's a club in Switzerland, and it's very close to our homes, and it's actually the best place around to play.
Interesting. What So were you able to do any writing at all, or are you guys planning on doing anything, or are you going to go back out in support of Born the Paris?
I mean, we're gonna be playing some festivals this summer. We have 5. We have just played a festival in Austria last week, and we have at the moment in August we have 5 more festivals to come. We're also planning on shows in September, October. I think this is going to be like a long summer season. Everybody gonna try to extend the summer days or the sunny days to do festivals outside, because it's much easier to do a show outside than inside because of the restrictions. Restrictions are really hard here in Europe, and especially for inside concerts. But outside it's much easier to do shows. So I guess we see how that goes. I mean, at the moment there's a little hope that some stuff will happen at least.
That'd be great. I know over here in the U.S. things are open pretty much, but I see it's coming back again. So I'm hoping that we at least get through the summer and get to see some shows anyway.
I mean, we have this concept here, which works pretty good, I think, at least so far where we played and where I've been at. It's with people that are vaccinated, people that are tested, and people that are already recovered. They can enter the show. And this way you can really avoid a big spread at a concert. And that works fine. And that's the rules here in Europe. I guess America will have the same thing happening soon when the numbers are going up now, because you just cannot put thousands of people together at this point when this virus is still there, So
yeah, I mean, I went to my first show after a year and a half just last Sunday, and it wasn't a metal show, but it was a big show, and there was like 20,000 people there, and I kept thinking the same thing. I've been vaccinated, but I don't know who. They didn't check anything. They didn't do anything. There was so many people.
That's not good, I mean, the problem is, all those anti-vaxxers and the big freedom thing. But at the end, this is a pandemic, and it's dangerous for everybody, and especially for those people that are not vaccinated yet. It's pretty stupid. So I think this concept will at least follow us this year here in Europe. we call it the 3 Gs, for vaccinated. It's like in German, it's, the German words are 3 Gs, and everybody knows about it. So people are actually starting to pick it up now, because it's the only way to go through the pandemic with a normal speed, also, let's say, that life comes back, also not to having another lockdown. Now we have already seen this in some other countries, like Australia is going into another lockdown now, and nobody wants another lockdown. It's not possible here in Europe also. It's not going to happen. So yeah, we're trying to get this going. I mean, as long as not everybody's vaccinated,
we're screwed.
It's not gonna improve so much.
So, assuming that everything goes as planned and we still remain open, what does Destruction have planned after those festivals?
I mean, we are gonna definitely do spontaneous weekend shows, weekend runs, because here in Europe we have to see which country is open. Basically, let's say Czech Republic or the Eastern countries are gonna open earlier. Then it's maybe possible to tour there. Then we're gonna do some weekend runs there. We're definitely going to keep on playing as long as it's possible, and we planned the first big tour next year, 2022. We're coming to the States, opening up the season for the new album, which is going to be I think April 22 is the tour start, and until then we're just going to keep on playing at the weekends and see what's possible. Basically, we're going to be spontaneous. It's going to be like a little bit, different than normally, but we're ready to go. We have already recorded the new album, mixing it at this point, and so we're going to be prepared. We're just preparing ourselves for the restart,
right?
And we take it as it comes. It's you got to be spontaneous at those times.
It must be kind of a nightmare trying to do a tour routing when you don't know who's open and who's not, and
yeah, it's difficult. And we just had a show canceled last weekend in Italy, because it was an international festival, and a couple of bands came from England and from the Netherlands and Spain, and those 3 countries are now on the high incidence list. That means when people come from this country, they have to go in quarantine into the other country, and that means like half of the bands from those countries they couldn't enter because not everybody in the band was vaccinated. Only if you're vaxxed, then you can enter the country without any quarantine. So it basically killed half of the billing, and that's why Destruction, we said right away, let's get vaccinated as soon as possible, and get back to business.
I'm glad to hear you're coming back to the States, because I haven't seen you guys since 2011 on 70,000 Tons.
All right, yeah, that's been a while. Yeah, it's we would have toured last year, but it wasn't possible. So basically, we're gonna skip the tour from the last album and keep some songs in the set list. And we're doing a new album right now, so it's how it goes. It's special circumstances.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to roll with it. If that's how you make your living, that's what you got to do. You got to be flexible, I guess.
Exactly.
Did you ever? You guys have been at this since like 1980, I think 82, somewhere in there. Did you ever imagine you'd still be doing this?
No. But back in the day, all we wanted is to be one day on the stage and play, and compose our own songs. And we never wanted to be rock stars. It wasn't the big dream to be rock stars. We just wanted to play our music, and that we got kind of, when the band kind of got famous, it was a big surprise for us, because our music was so uncommercial and ruthless and different, and not mainstream. And of course, it was a big surprise to all of us, and it was never thought about that we could move on for so long. And I mean, we had our ups and downs and our difficult times too, but in the end, we're still around, and that's actually crazy, because basically next year we're gonna have our 40-year anniversary.
That's crazy. Wow! Congratulations.
I don't feel that old yet.
So you said you're putting a new album together, and are you planning on releasing it as an album like the old school days, or are you planning on doing the new model where you're like dropping a single here this month and then a single like 6 weeks later? Because the music business is sort of reinventing, right?
Yeah, it's reinventing. We are actually gonna bring out our first single already in August. This August, we're gonna give a sign of life with a new single, and then we're gonna drop the next stuff. I think at the end of the year, because the album's gonna come out beginning of next year. But we're gonna take both roads. We're gonna definitely release vinyl and the CD and everything and all the physical products. But we will also, of course, take advantage of the new ways, the streaming and stuff that a lot of young people are using. And that's the best way. Yeah, as you said, you have to stay updated as a band, and
right.
We still have a lot of die-hard old school fans, and that's great. So that's why we still love the physical product. But of course, the new way has its good ways too. You can reach a lot of fans over the streaming, and especially people in more poor countries. They can still listen to the new album without having shipping it from the States or from Germany. So it's take the best sides of both worlds.
I think that's a great attitude, but as an old school guy myself, I miss the days of going to the record store, buying the physical copy, and then coming home and reading the liner notes and everybody you thanked and listening to it sequenced the way it was meant to be, the way you meant it to be listened to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. I mean, now we're living in the fast food world. Everything is fast. People in the internet, they don't even watch the videos anymore. They just watch the first couple of seconds. Also, same as with music. People just listen to the beginning of the music, and then next, it's all about playlists and about fast attention and fast surf. And it's kind of sad because music is nothing that should be consumed like fast food. It's something that should go deeper. And
I agree, especially when you do a whole record and you've spent days trying to sequence it or months trying to sequence it, and then it just gets dropped like one single at a time on somebody's iPod.
Yeah, but I guess it will kind of come back to one day. It will come back to the normal way again for people that are more chilled about music and are more enjoying music. Of course, the mainstream will stay fast food. I guess that's nothing you can stop. But it's like the vinyl comeback that we have at the moment. All the big major companies like Warner or Sony Music, they're all producing vinyl now. 20 years ago, they were condemning vinyl to be done. It's over. They kind of didn't produce any vinyl. And now that there's like a comeback of vinyl, all the major companies are producing vinyl again now. So nobody thought that this would ever come back, but it has a big comeback at the moment. Like for us, the production period, the waiting period to produce a vinyl now at the moment is 6 months here in Europe. So that's crazy. Yeah. So I have to give them a master tapes 6 months in advance to get the final vinyl delivered on release day. That's actually almost not possible.
Is that because most of those factories or whatever have closed down?
Yeah, but also it's because the major companies are now reinventing the vinyl, and they kind of, they're producing new vinyls for Michael Jackson and Madonna and all those big mainstream acts. And then it's like, okay, Sony Music gave us a call. They want 1 million vinyls for the next couple of months, and then all those companies that still open, they kind of have too much to do, and of course, if those big players are knocking at the door, they're all in, and that makes it complicated. Right. Basically, punk rock and metal that kept the vinyl alive has to wait in line now for the major companies that produce pop vinyls again,
No, that's interesting.
It's not really fair because we kept the vinyl alive, us metal and punk kids,
Yeah.
But it's all about the money at the end, So, and there's only a few big companies left that are producing vinyl, and so
that's interesting.
Yeah, even a lot of the vinyls that you have in America, they all get produced in Europe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what does a Destruction show look like these days? I imagine it's multi-generational now, right? Because people like myself are bringing their kids.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I like that when daddy comes with the son, or whole families. We have basically a young fan base. Destruction is like wild thrash music. So it's basically teenagers and young people listening to thrash, but also, of course, the old school guys our age and the generations that grew up on thrash. But it's a nice mix. That's something that's very interesting. How will your fan base grow with you? Will it grow old? Will it just be old people? I was always worried that there's going to be no new generation of thrashers, but actually since the beginning of 2000s thrash had a kind of a underground comeback, and it's great to see that there's also a lot of young kids also coming to thrash shows again.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a funny story. My son, he's 19 now, but I told him I was going to be talking to you, and the other day he showed me his iPod, his playlist, and he's got "Hate Is My Fuel" on his running list.
All right, cool.
It was a proud dad moment.
Awesome. Say hello to him.
Yeah.
Well done.
So that was kind of cool. You there?
Cool.
Oh, yeah. So that runs up the end of my questions. Did I miss anything you want to cover?
Yeah, I think we already talked about it. We're going to return to the States hopefully next year in April. We're actually, our booking agent is right now working on the routing of the tour. So it's hopefully it's going to happen. I mean, we're positive. Hope dies last is the philosophy that we have at the moment, and so we're very hopeful that we can return next year to America.
Awesome. Thank you for taking the time. Sorry about all the screw-ups.
No, maybe it was my side that was not working. We don't know, but at the end it worked out. So great. Thanks a lot.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot for the patience, Bruce.
Oh, yeah. I'm a longtime fan. It was great talking to you.
My pleasure.
Well, stay safe.
Okay, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Take care, my friend. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.